Welcome back to Night Terrors, episode 2. Tasha was a little off on her cue, but that's okay. We've got time to figure that out. Right.
It's on brand.
It is very on brand. This is the dumpster fire that you all know, love, and, paparazzi outside my house kind of thing. Let's see. We're all three super fucking tired right now, and I've been staying up all night for the past, week. That's new. But this time I had a reason to stay up all night, and that reason was I have officially, as of 30 seconds ago, uploaded our last remastered episode. So I went back and yanked all of our episodes and remastered them and re-uploaded them with a brand new fancy intro, fancy music. It's great. Super proud of myself.
As you should be.
Thank you.
They look fucking awesome.
Oh shit, I just hit my whole table. Yeah, I'm really, really not the type of person who can brag on myself. I'm more likely to just make jokes at my own expense. But in this particular case, I taught myself how to film edit, and I'm pretty fucking proud of it, but also don't say anything nice to me or I don't know what to do. I'll ask if you like turtles or something.
Watch the awkwardness ensue.
Oh my god, yeah, please don't compliment me ever. I've been bullied my whole life, and now I'm pretty fucking chill with it, so don't do anything with that. Just bully me. I know how to deal with that. So tonight,
Be mean to me.
Yeah, be mean to me. It's my kink. Wink, wink.
It's $5 extra.
A little bit, yeah. It's like guacamole. Okay, it's extra.
I feel like she would charge people more to be nice to her.
Oh, yeah. If you want to be nice to me, that'll be $5 per compliment. Unless it's a multi-sentence compliment, in which case that's gonna be $20.
Charge per word.
$5 a sentence.
Yeah, I was gonna say $1 a word.
Okay, $1 a word. So be mean to me or pay me, which is being nice to me. I'll take your money. God damn it.
So,
I feel like we have things to say. Anyway. How about them Niners?
Oh, no.
No. Okay, no, I don't give a fuck about sports. Let's see. So I want to thank you guys again. I gave you a shout out on our last episode for helping me absolutely curb stomp a troll on Instagram.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
Loved that.
Hashtag 2009.
God. Hashtag 2009. Whatever the fuck that means. I truly don't know. It's possible that he also doesn't know. Probable that he doesn't know. We lost Tasha.
We did.
I was trying to pretend we didn't. But
So was I.
I know. Okay. Quick, fill the silence.
That's what we do.
So
I had puppies today. Yay!
Puppies. Love those.
I did.
Well, it's not abnormal for us to have technical issues. I like to think that I have solved a lot of those with my newly acquired editing skills.
Yeah, but
however,
this is Tasha, so that's a whole special technical issue in its own.
I know.
Just saying. It's okay.
Oh, I think we have her back.
The fuck, dude?
I don't know, dude. It just popped up and was like, oh, you were disconnected. But everything is still hooked up. So, fucking cursed.
Love this for us. It's okay.
It's the government. Cursed. The birds.
It's the birds. It's the birds.
Ramen.
So, we're ramen. We're 4 minutes into this episode, and we have not yet even explained what we're going to be talking about.
I'm not sure
that's how we roll. We've already lost her once, lost Tasha. Horror movies and horror shows, because I've definitely seen more shows than movies. This is actually Tasha's jam, right?
Hell yeah. I'm all about this life.
You can say stuff now.
Do what?
I said you can say stuff now.
Oh,
so she has a podcast that we talked about last time, which I didn't even catch the name. I thought that you were just making a comment, but it was the name. Yeah. I thought we didn't give the name. What is it?
Horror Bestie Breakdown.
Horror Bestie Breakdown.
Yes.
Horror Love that word.
You can do it.
I just want to say, if I was like 6'8" and jacked and mentally stable and didn't have a lisp, I would rule the world. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Like, I would be president or king. I think I'd be king.
Emperor.
For sure.
Emperor.
Fucking, Sith Lord.
Sith Lord.
Oh god.
Oof.
That escalated so
But
fast.
I'm gonna change.
So
I'm gonna
quickly.
change the name of it so I don't have to say Sith Lord. Evil Lord.
Not trying
Evil
to have
Jedi.
that struggle.
No, there should be no S in any. Could you imagine, like, hello, yes, I am your Sith Lord. Nice to meet you.
Oh
Like,
god.
fuck no. Shit.
Oh no.
See what I mean? Like, I can bully myself harder than anyone else ever can. Like, this is just. There's no one meaner to me than me, and I welcome you to try. Like, some of our trolls have been trying, but he wasn't ready.
I don't even really know. I'm not even still sure I understand what he was trying to, like, get across at all. Like, what was the
I have no
message
idea.
there?
The biggest thing I got out of it is that I'm so lonely I use black magic.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
that was you? I thought I was talking to Rachel on that one.
I mean, that's probably true, too. So.
My voodoo dolls are my business.
So
leave them alone.
Right. My voodoo, my choice.
That's right.
Okay, leave me alone with that. Oh, that should be a t-shirt. Wow.
That should be a t-shirt.
Anyway. It should. So I believe that he was mad that I'm apparently transsexual, that you are a witch. And Rachel, why was he mad at you?
I don't even know if there was a reason he was mad at me.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to check. I wanted to, like, take inventory of the...
I mean, he had a lot to say to me, but I don't really remember if it was, like, anything of substance.
Well, it's because none of it made sense.
No, nothing was... Yeah, I'm 90% sure he was high during that entire... Like, don't get on the internet high, guys. Just sit in your mom's basement where you belong and smoke your whatever the fuck you're smoking.
I don't even have anything near me.
Jesus Christ, we are a mess. Okay. Horror shit. Tasha has a show, a podcast, where she reviews and breaks down horror movies, I believe to include some really terrible ones. Like, fun, like, good, terrible.
Yes.
Yes! As I was kind of, like, trying to think... It's always a mess. I have to go into my mind palace and access the files and realize, dust the fucking, shit off there and realize, wow, oh my God, that show. Like, oh my, all these things I'm remembering where I'm like, I should rewatch that because I don't remember it. Oops.
I actually haven't seen
I haven't watched a lot of shows. No.
I've seen all shows and you've seen all movies, so I think this is going to be good. I think that at the end of this episode, what we should each do is compile. We could either do a top 10 list or of like our personal recommendations to people, or we could do a top 3 from each platform, something like that. We'll work that.
I was gonna say I will have more of a limited list there because I haven't watched any really good horror movies and it's been a minute. So all of
What's the
mine
last one you watched?
One of the last Paranormal Activity movies.
Oh, really? You know, I just rewatched
several years ago.
Like, not even the newest one?
No, I've only seen 3.
Oh, girl. You gotta catch up.
I know. Well, I know, trust me. There's a lot. My problem is there's 24 hours in a day. And I have so many things I want to get done. And instead of getting at least one of those done, I sit on TikTok all day. So.
Oh, well. Yeah.
I don't really TikTok much. I get really, really mad when people send me TikToks because then I have to fucking, like, go into the app.
And I have, like, 54 in my inbox. I just haven't watched them forever.
Yeah, no.
That's why I just send them on Messenger because I know you're not going to fucking look at them on TikTok. With the relevance.
I log into the podcast TikTok once in a while to post shit, which is really funny to me because my brother and his girlfriend promised that they would be handling all the social media, and then she got COVID. And she's like, can you take over the social media for a while? I'm like, yes. And that was 3 weeks ago. And now here I still am, like, running my wheels. Like,
well, I don't see
like,
Brett
somebody
taking his
stop
titties
me.
out on Instagram, so.
I know, okay? I believe in personal sacrifice for the greater good, which is why I pop my titties out on Instagram. It's a great sacrifice, but somebody had to do it, okay? Please, you can canonize me later. But for now, just know I'm doing my civic duty, and you're welcome for my service. That's all I got. Titties are on Instagram, guys. Go and nobody's that straight once you see titties. I'm just saying, like, just not. I don't make the rules. It's science.
It's science.
So science.
Anywho, Tasha.
Yeah.
Tasha. Beautiful. What is the last horror movie or show that you watched?
So I fell asleep during one yesterday. That tells you how horrible it was.
Clearly.
It's called Hard Rock Nightmare on Shudder. But the last good one I watched. Huh?
Is it a porn?
No.
Oh, well,
sounds like a porno.
I mean, it's like that 80s horror movie, so obviously there's naked people in it, but it's not like straight up porn. But yeah, I just like passed out halfway through. And for me to fall, like, as much as I love horror, I freely admit that I'm an absolute coward when it comes to stuff. Like, I'm super jumpy. It doesn't take much of anything to scare the shit out of me. But I love horror movies. Facts. So for me to fall asleep, I'm just saying. That's bad.
And it literally takes like an act of God act of imaginary sky daddy to get me to like jump or like even gross out at all. So one time when Tasha came to visit, we got a Airbnb in Kansas City. And we stayed there for a week watching, what was it, fucking Ghost Hunters?
No, it was some other dude on Amazon Prime. I can't remember.
Oh, it was?
I can't remember what it was called.
Okay, you have no business being a horror fan for being such a little bitch as you are. Second,
true story.
Unreal.
All the jumping I did watching that fucking show. She would just turn and look at me like every time.
Ends of the couch. Opposite ends of the couch, and the fucking whole couch would shake every single time.
Yep.
I can't help
it. That's my brand.
This ain't right.
I'm consistent. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in a recording studio with people who record sound effects for horror movies. Like, you needed the gasp, and you were doing, like, takes every single time. Like, just over and over.
She's adding to the effect, that's all.
That's part of the experience. Like,
yep, it goes with popcorn.
Thank you for your service.
Thank
you very much. Yeah, it was so funny because we watched like just horror for a week straight. And by the end of it, like, there were times when you would make noises that would actually scare me when whatever's on the TV did not scare me. Or you would like grab the arm of the couch like, I'm just like, I can't even make the noise. I don't even know how to like.
Well, and I wasn't even.
So thank you.
I wasn't even into horror at that point. Like, because I've always gone through phases. Like, I really like it, but then I can't watch it by myself, or I go through phases where I don't like watching it at all. Whatever. I can watch it by myself now.
Good for you.
I'm
proud of you. That's character development. Is what it is.
Character. That's why she got dirty. That explains it.
Well,
oh my god!
But now this asshole will pick like the most tense moment of a movie to just start barking his full head off when he's been sound asleep, and that's
my boy.
So, yeah, he. And like I told you guys, I was like bawling my eyes out after watching the end of Stranger Things the other day, and my emotional support dog is sleeping in my bedroom. He didn't give a fuck.
Rude.
Jesus.
Can't rely on them.
So, do you have a recommendation? Somebody's echoing.
I don't know.
Echoing?
Who's echoing? My chair
It was
squeaked.
Tasha.
Damn.
God. Okay. Rachel, real quick. Give me your, like, if you had to recommend a horror movie or show to somebody right now. What would it be?
God. I'm obsessed with the Saw movies.
Oh.
Like, I love mind games. I love it. It doesn't have to be actually scary. It just has to really fuck with you, and I'm down.
Okay, that's fair. So
fuck,
Rachel is
dude?
recommending Saw.
I don't know, man.
Saw.
Tasha,
It like
can't hang
dies,
in
and I
there.
just reload it, and then I come back.
Hashtag can't hang. Okay,
Cursed.
that's fine. I don't mind patching together like 9 clips of you. That won't take me all night. It's totally cool.
By Monday,
so-
she's gonna be completely worn out.
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
If you had to recommend to somebody right now, Tasha, a horror movie or show that you absolutely just fucking love, it can be as popular or as like obscure as you want.
I would have to go with the movie Exists. It is found footage, and it is probably one of the best Bigfoot movies I have seen. Because there's a lot of really shitty Bigfoot movies. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so sick of Bigfoot.
Yeah. And honestly, as much as I love found footage, it's really fucking hard to find good found footage movies too.
It is, yeah.
Because there are some really shitty ones that you have to dig through to get there. But yeah,
I'm gonna make a request for both of you to like keep notes to send me later. As far as like right now, I'm like, that sounds amazing. I want to watch that. By the end of this episode, I will forget that it exists.
I don't have anything.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tasha, like, I don't know, like, remember, okay? Just remember. Send it to me.
Yeah,
of
course.
I'll pull it up.
Oh, you send it to me, you dick. She sends it to me right now.
I was gonna say, we're just gonna make a list here, because...
Take a lap.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I want to talk about one show that I watched that I believe is categorized as horror. I don't know if it is or not. It's trippy. It's called Dark on Netflix. Have you seen it?
That sounds familiar. I have a bunch on my list.
Yeah. And it's funny because my great memory didn't even fucking remember that I'd watched it until I was going through these lists. And then I'm like, oh my God, that was so fucking good. I don't even know what I'd categorize it as. Maybe suspense, psychological horror, a little bit sci-fi. It's German. So my ass watched it with English dubs because I have to multitask. I cannot be just sitting there staring.
Dubbing.
So what's it called?
Excellent. Dark.
Just Dark.
Yeah. And it's funny because as I was like looking through articles and lists and things, trying to remember what I'd seen and hadn't, it's getting recommended by people over and over again, but I don't think people are actually watching it. And I don't know if I would categorize it as horror. I hate you, Tasha. She's like keeping notes right now live in our group chat. So I keep looking down like, ooh, what's that? And it's Dark.
It's not my fault you're not focused.
I'm not focused. Shock.
Have you met her?
What? What's another good one?
Brand
new.
Girl.
This one's more of a psychological suspense / a little slasher plus like the unreliable narrator part. Brand New Cherry Flavor on Netflix. You seen that one?
What is it?
I had that one pop up a lot.
Brand New Cherry Flavor. That one was a trip. It was really good.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a little grotesque. It's like there's, I guess, some, what would you call it, like body horror? Some shit going on. Like there's so many different things. There's so many different things happening in it, but it's like hard to stop watching.
It's like a train wreck.
Grotesque. Yeah. I mean, it's a good train wreck, but also there's like parts where, oh my God. Like, but still.
Too much
corn. It sounds like body horror.
Yeah. Well, it's not all body horror, but there were some, I just remember, like, the scenes that stick in my head were like, oh my God, remember that one? Like, I remember one scene, which I won't even tell you, but like, I think you'll know it when you get to it.
I think you will. A lot.
You'll trust me. You're gonna be if you watch this, you'll be messaging me like, I can't.
Found it.
Found it.
Like, oh yes. Another one that was on Hulu that is also a hidden gem is called Monsterland. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh my god. I need to find something you guys have seen.
You're gonna have to go back to like early 2000s, 90s, 80s, probably for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mentioned like 3 in a row that nobody's heard of, so your turn.
Whose turn? My turn? Oh, Rachel's turn.
Well,
see, but I'm more on the movie side of things, so I'm not going to be familiar with a lot of the shows.
So you can tell us the movies.
Let's see.
I also want to know where to watch them.
Yeah, that's helpful. So getting a Shudder subscription was like the best thing I've ever done, because they have like back to like the original Nosferatu, like silent movie. It is so good. So they've got like all the classics and stuff like that. They come out with a lot of indie films. They do a lot of their own stuff. And there's a lot of foreign international ones on there. There is one called Terrified that is Argentinian, I think. That is actually like probably one of the scariest movies I have seen in a while.
Okay, I don't know if I trust your standards on
take it for what it's worth,
but okay.
Actually, quick plug, I did a YouTube video with another channel about that movie. A couple of my friends are on Horror Fiend TV. They're the ones I did the live with a couple weeks ago, and they both thought it was scary too. So
okay, well, maybe I trust them.
Yeah,
maybe
it's good. It takes some twists and turns. It's got like a supernatural feel to it, but it's not like your normal supernatural kind of stuff, which I really like.
It actually has the ability to maybe surprise you a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Okay. Okay. This is a pretty big one. Have you guys seen Midnight Mass on Netflix?
No.
I got through most of it. I haven't finished it.
I'm making a list.
Out. Checking it twice. God. So I think that we should all do a list at the end here of our recommendations. Like, obviously, I don't know why I've seen a bunch of ones that you guys haven't seen, but okay. I don't know.
I could spend the whole episode talking about recommendations.
Okay, give me some. Go.
The Mist.
Oh, that one's good. I like that one.
Yeah. Even though I'm not like I'm not an emotional horror person, but the end of that movie,
yeah,
holy shit.
You only need to go see like the last like 10 minutes of that movie, and you know the whole movie. Like, you could skip the rest of the movie and just watch the last 10 minutes, and that's all you need.
Don't skip the rest of the movie, because it makes excellent statements about how human beings react to things when shit hits the fan. Like, but it is an excellent lesson in psychology.
If you want like the head fuck from that,
well, yeah,
the last 10 minutes is all you need.
Yeah.
And that's on
that
Netflix?
I think is on Netflix now.
Excellent.
I think they just added it. It's a Stephen King one.
Have you all? Oh, okay. I may have actually read the book. I've actually. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Chris, who I was talking with today about horror movies, and that's what got me like into this deep dive of trying to remember what I've actually seen. But we were talking about, for example, The Shining. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Oh, thank God. Have you read the book?
It's been a while.
That was a long time ago, but yeah.
Actually, I re-listened. I've read it before, and then I listened to it on audiobook on my way to visit you, Tasha, last year. So fucking good. It was so fucking good.
Yeah. What'd you think of Dr. Sleep?
I haven't seen the movie. I have read the book, and I love the book. I've heard mixed reviews on the movie. Again, we were just having this conversation today. You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I should have done my homework. God damn it. I will give my verdict next time. I'll watch it.
Okay. So the website Tubi, Tubi, free, and it is like a horror gold mine. You kind of have to wade your way through like the super cheesy, awful ones. But they have like a shit ton of everything on there. So since I have like every other subscription on the planet, it was really nice to find a free website with lots of things.
Can relate.
Yeah, everything that I want to watch, I feel like is on some other like Paramount Plus. Like I really like the show Evil, but the first season of it's on something, and then
Apple
all the
TV
other seasons.
Now.
Oh God, there's just too many.
Fuck Apple TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
Have you guys? I don't even know why I keep asking this. Love, Death, and Robots. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, fuck. God. I don't even know.
Seen All of Us Are Dead?
What is it?
All of Us Are Dead?
No.
On Netflix?
Is it a movie?
No, it's a show. Well,
it's
a few shows I've watched.
What's it on?
May have. Hold on.
Netflix.
Look, I need things to watch when I'm or semi-watch, semi-listen to when I'm working on puppies. So
yeah, it's a zombie breakout.
Thank you guys for tuning in to our 60 minutes of asking each other if we've seen shows and saying no, we haven't, and then cursing each other out because can't believe you haven't seen that. And back and forth we go, and then before we know it, bam, It's been an hour.
Okay.
We could get a fourth party, like, if we needed to. I could just yell around the corner and see if he knows anything.
He's a man.
He's just screaming at each other. He doesn't know anything, trust me.
He doesn't.
What's your favorite type of horror movie?
Ooh, good. That's good. Excellent.
Take that in the direction where we actually have answers.
Psychological thrillers, man.
Yep.
I need a good mind fuck.
That's what hooks me in. $10. Is a doesn't even take 10. $5 is $5. A peso is a peso, guys. Psychological thrillers.
Oh no. Can you still hear me?
Well, I'm gonna keep talking. I even like it when there's like slasher elements mixed in with some psych horror. But just slashers by themselves can get pretty boring.
That's why I
like slashers where everybody dies at the end. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, so I recently rewatched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Oh, those are so good too.
They are, but like, so for example, the last one was super annoying because they spent all of this time building this character development for these
Texas
characters.
Chainsaw Massacre, by the way.
Even though we knew that they were going to die in like 2 minutes, and then they did die, and there was no point to any of it. It just felt like such a pointless. The most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tasha, have you seen it?
I gave it a 3 out of 10.
Yeah,
yep.
That's
when we did our.
That checks out.
Yeah. My favorite part is when he dolphins out of the water at the end.
Yeah.
Like, it just comes flying out of it, like some flipper shit. It was.
I'm just imagining Peter Griffin on the dolphin, the rainbows in the background.
Oh my god.
Leatherface. Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of good kills in it, but
not worth 2 hours of my life or whatever. Like, for the love of God, I feel like those downgraded. So I think one of the best ones was the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre with my girl Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
Oh, that was probably my favorite one.
I was thinking that was her.
That was really fucking good. And like, I have not actually seen the really, really old ones. I would like to. I've seen one of them. I just don't remember which. Whatever was on Netflix recently.
I've seen part of the original.
Well, I feel like you're letting us down with your expertise here, woman.
What?
I'm going to need you to go watch all 20 of them.
I got us headed in a good direction here.
You did.
Thank you very much.
What is your favorite type of horror?
Found footage.
Ooh,
that's good too.
Found footage show.
You did say that earlier too, and I
did forgot. Blair Witch Project bring you into that?
So I actually watched that. I think I was in like 6th grade.
Yep.
Like by myself at night.
And that's where it all started for Tasha.
I don't really remember much about it, and I haven't seen it since then, which is kind of like found footage sacrilege.
Yeah.
But it's not my absolute favorite. There's actually a Skinwalker Ranch one that is
really
what's it called?
Yeah, their alien design is pretty sweet. I think it's on Tubi. There's one called Dyatlov Pass about that incident in Russia with the scientists that went hiking.
That would be a great episode.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
It would.
So we watch a lot of like Expedition Unknown stuff. And that's where we saw that for the first time, and we were hooked immediately. So, but like every time I see something after that, I'm like, y'all don't know the real story. Josh Gates got the real story. You don't know anything.
You don't know shit.
That's my celebrity.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we already talked about how Travis Taylor from the Skinwalker Ranch shows. Well, it's a weird crush for me. He's like super white, redhead, nerd, and I'm like, hey, baby.
Yeah.
But man, when he's talking about that launch pad being ready for takeoff, man.
I think this launch pad is finally ready for takeoff. And you're like, whew, yes, my launch pad's ready.
Well done, ma'am.
You're welcome. Rachel about died.
Hey.
Yeah, I just watched the episode where they were setting off rockets, and there was just like 10 minutes of them talking about the bigger, better rockets and the more efficient rockets, and I just died for like the entire
that's all men talk
stretch.
about anyway, so they're still out there arguing about the size of their rockets, okay? It's kind of their whole MO. And little do they know, it's not about the size of the rocket, it's about how far it can launch.
Oh, that was... You can do so much better.
I can do better. I can do better.
Don't lower yourself to my level.
Seriously.
Sometimes I just see low-hanging fruit and I just get hungry. I'm like, I gotta get it.
Stop.
God, somebody take us away from this.
Yeah, so they do a really cool Dyatlov Pass one that I really liked. There is... I'm trying to think. There's one I've heard that's really good called the Blackwell Ghost that I have not watched yet, but I've heard the Blackwell Ghost. I think it's on Amazon.
Ooh.
I watch Amazon too.
Ooh. I do have Amazon. Blackwell Ghost.
Blackwell Ghost?
There is... Yeah, one word. Like Norman Rockwell, but it's Blackwell.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, I literally purchased Amazon Prime just to watch The Boys, which is probably one of my all-time favorite shows. I'm not gonna lie.
Jensen Ackles.
Motherfucker. For our listening, yes. Every time I say motherfucker, it means that Tasha has been abducted. I'm sure nothing scary and horrible happening to her.
I'm sure
also,
she's fine.
Fucking ghost.
It's the birds.
Yeah, she's fine. So, yeah, the goddamn birds. What are we going to call this episode, Rachel?
Hey, there you are.
Keep freezing you.
Now we're up to like 4 clips of Tasha. I'm gonna have
your faces freeze in like the best expressions.
You should start screenshotting that.
I need to.
God damn it.
Just every now and then, it makes like a weird face.
There's one called "Be My Cat."
I'm down.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Hang on. Excuse me while I die.
Be my cat.
Yeah.
So for legal purposes, I'm gonna have to insist that nobody die on camera, please. Okay.
I feel like that's asking a lot.
I feel like that would be a serious liability for us.
That'd be a lot to edit out.
I know. Don't make me edit that. Don't
and you know my death would be super dramatic too. So.
In the stupidest way possible. That's how that would happen.
Yes. Yes, it would. So Be My Cat, he's like, I want to say he's like Czech or Romanian, and he's
Fascinating.
wow. He's a director that is obsessed with Anne Hathaway, and he is convinced that if he makes this movie for her, that she will star in this film that he wants to do. So he finds these actresses that look like her, and it gets really creepy.
Is this a real thing?
Yes. No, I mean it's found footage. It's a fiction, but it feels legit. Like, it is
My Cat.
Yeah, it is probably one of the most real feeling found footage movies I've seen.
One of you is making a list, right?
Yeah, I have it.
Thank you. List.
You yelled at me,
Rachel.
I have a list. Don't worry.
I'm deaf. I yell at everybody.
What is Be My Cat on?
I think it's on Tubi.
Alright.
Excellent. So I do want to quickly take a break here to mention that Rachel and I had a really interesting conversation with Brett this morning. And I nearly had a cardiac event at 5 a.m. because he stressed me out so badly.
Thank God that I have my phone on like sleep mode when I'm sleeping. Because I wake up to these motherfuckers since like 4 in the morning are like arguing back and forth where Brett's essentially wearing his aluminum tinfoil hat there and she's calling him a fucking idiot for doing so. And they're just like back and forth the whole time. And then eventually I wake up and she's like, Rachel, wake the fuck up! I need to know who's right! And I was like, like half an eye open, like reading these messages, like, no, it's definitely Kay's Catfish. Sorry, Brett, I need to tell you.
Yes. Undefeated, motherfucker. Because, okay, so I'm gonna give you like the gist of this because it still gets my blood pressure up.
Oh no.
So on our episode where we're talking about the moon. We just had 60 minutes of thinking about the fucking moon. No. We had an episode where we talked about the moon landing.
Yeah.
And we were trying to remember the name of a movie in which George Clooney and Sandra Bullock had some dramatic scene where, I think George Clooney floats off into space and dies, right? So I couldn't remember the name of the movie. So I found like a post about it.
Yeah.
Gravity, correct. And I sent it in the group chat to Rachel and Brett. And I'm like, oh my God, the name of the movie was Gravity. And all the post was saying was, oh my God, they were such idiots when they made this movie because he could have just given himself a slight tug on the line and floated back to her. So that, the guy who made this movie should go to prison basically for being so stupid about physics and science.
And Brett was like, well, actually. We were both like, oh God, no.
Oh no.
So he basically, I guess, thought that the Earth was like a black hole that was constantly sucking everything into it.
Yeah, he said the gravity yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, bro, that's not how it fucking works. Like, they have momentum and like there's all sorts of other gravitational forces. And then he's like, well, what about solar winds? Well, I was twitching, dude. I was like, that's not actually wind. He's like, and he's sitting there Googling it. So he's like, oh yeah, it's particles rushing from the sun. I knew that. And I'm like, fuck you. Oh my God.
It's so frustrating. The thing about things in space, at 7 o'clock in the morning trying to convey half sleep, was that when you're in space, if you give something momentum, it will continue with that momentum until something else creates to give it a different momentum. And it's just this continuous cycle in space. Like, it doesn't just move into a different direction because of nothing. So.
And that's what I kept trying to explain to him was like, hey, how do you think the moon stays up there, okay? It's got momentum. It's got the right amount of momentum versus the Earth's gravity to stay in orbit. Same thing with satellites. They have momentum to keep, like...
Right.
I don't know how to, like... I'm not a fucking scientist, but, like... I also just, a couple days ago, did a unbelievable amount of research into this shit for that outline. So it's, like, really fresh in my mind now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like... things that I wouldn't normally know right now, I do know. And I'm like, bro, you stress me like 4 a.m. You coming in here to stress me out like this? It's not good for my blood pressure.
Yeah.
You got to stop. And he also does want to come on an episode and defend himself.
Yeah.
Which would be super fun. All 3 of us versus Brett. Ah, love that. Oh my God. Tasha, welcome back. It's okay. We're up to 5 clips. I'm going to have to paste this together now. Thank you.
Not my fault your program hates me.
I think it's your internet or something.
Hates me. But it's still connected to everything.
What's happening? Tennessee.
Cursed.
It's Mothman.
More recommendations. Go.
Huh?
More recommendations. Let's hear
them. Let's see. So I've gotten a little bit more into horror comedy lately, which is a very fine line to walk because I feel like it either ends up being shit or not so much horror.
Right.
And of course, the last 2 that I watched were on Shudder. So one is called Bloody Hell, where a dude finds himself like captured by a cannibal family, and his like talks to himself, and he's got like this whole second person that he's created where he's like talking to himself, like having actual conversations and shit. It's actually really funny. And then one called Vicious Fun, where this journalist finds himself locked into a serial killer self-help meeting, and he is not a serial killer. So
I want to go to one of those.
I mean, I don't.
My next one is scheduled for.
Oops, Freudian slip.
Yeah.
So those both managed to be like really entertaining and also horrific. So I was pretty impressed with those.
I have input. I know this one, and it's a movie. It's my favorite one out of the one that I've seen. It's my favorite. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh my God.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
I try to show that to everyone, and then they're always doing other things, and I'm like, pay attention. This is the part where the guy throws himself in the wood chipper. I've seen it like 8 times.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for them in that movie. Those poor guys.
I know. These kids are killing themselves all over these woods. Oh my
Cabin
God.
in the Woods.
That's a good one.
Have I seen that? I've probably seen that.
Chris Hemsworth. Before Thor.
Before Thor.
I'm going to go start watching every single one of these, and I've probably seen every single one. And there's going to be a moment where but my stupid brain just...
I do that a lot too.
I'm just imagining an intern quitting on their last day, and they like make direct eye contact with their boss and tip over all the file cabinets. That's my brain. Files everywhere. And I mean, you never know what you're going to pick up and remember. So great. Love that for me. Yay. What else? Oh, also, I'm going to slide this little gem in here. It's not really a gem. It's more of like an apology. If I talk too fast, somebody like stop me or reach through the screen and slap me. So I listen to all of anything that I listen to, podcasts or whatever. My brain gets really fucking mad when people talk slowly in general because I'm a speed reader. So I listen to them on double time. So then when I come back to reality where normal humans live, after listening to chipmunks talk about space all day, my brain is still in that like fast forward mode, and I end up like talking like this so fast. So just
I can see that.
Scream at me, whatever you have to do to slow me down, like because I spend most of my day just like in my own head, like doing my own thing and like interacting with nobody.
I mean, I can appreciate that.
I'm very antisocial. And then I come back to Earth where the humans are, and I'm like, hey, did you know about space? Like, the fuck is this person doing?
You're hyped up on caffeine, get an eye twitch going.
Oh my god. And I take caffeine pills, so I'm like, and I'm drinking caffeine, and I'm chugging Monsters or Bangs or like Bucked Up or whatever the fuck. And I'm just like in this like extra dimension all by myself.
My eyelids,
I'm sorry.
Just thinking about it.
Oh god. Yeah. And I speed read, so I just hate when people talk slowly because I could be reading this information much, much, much faster than you are talking real slow to me. Blah, blah, blah. Like fucking, I don't know, some cartoon character that talks slow. All right, apology ended. You won't hear it again. Move on.
I'm so sorry for apologizing.
How dare you? I'm sorry, I apologize so much.
Back on topic. Horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one of my favorite
The Fourth Kind
series of movies, but I fucking love that movie too.
The Fourth Kind? What is
aliens.
That?
What?
I've not seen that one. Oh, I do love alien movies. Oh my god.
The Fourth Kind is really good.
You will love this. It's like half acted, half found footage, and it's like they do side by side, and it's so good.
Oh.
I love it. Yeah, that's really good. No, I was gonna say, forgive me for saying it this way. M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan?
Shyamalan?
Shamalama ding dong.
No, please keep trying. I'm loving this.
You're gonna get it right, or you're not going out to play with your friends.
Shyamalan? Something like that.
M. Night, we get it.
You get it.
M. Night, shh.
Do we?
M. Night.
You did Sign, and that other really good movie.
The Village.
That was also good, but the other one with the plants.
I'm so glad you're being... That one sucked.
Did he do The Happening?
Yeah,
that sucked.
I loved that. I
like the concept.
Yeah. Yeah, I
could have been...
I didn't really care about the acting so much, but I liked the same. Like, I liked the concept of it.
Who was in that?
Mark Wahlberg.
Why
was I thinking Nick Cage was in that?
Nick
Cage.
No.
Colors Out of Space, or Color Out of Space, is a Nick Cage movie. Like, you know how he's been on this binge lately of doing these weird ass movies? That's
how you know their career is in free fall. Like, I'm gonna do indie films
whatever you sign me up for. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Color Out of Space. It's an alien one. It's a really good take. Yeah, and it's super trippy, which is good. And then, oh my god, I just had another one like right there, and I lost it. Willy's Wonderland. Have you guys seen Willy's Wonderland?
That sounds like a porno for sure.
No, it's another Nick Cage one, but it's kind of like horror comedy.
As a life principle, I try not to watch Nicolas Cage and things on purpose. It's more like an accident.
See, but he's gotten so crazy. It's like a totally different experience now.
I know. Like, who was that one guy? Not Matthew McConaughey, the other one who looked like him, who did the weird car commercials. He talks like real slow. Like
that is Matthew
McConaughey.
I'm thinking Bradley Cooper. Fuck. So not Bradley Cooper. The other guy, Matthew McConaughey. Yes. God.
Oh no.
I want to bring up that like Hollywood style scene cutter where I can like.
Speaking of alternate dimensions and shit. Like...
Seriously. It was definitely not Bradley Cooper in the Lincoln commercials. I promise.
Fuck. I could be straight up transported into an alternate dimension. My memory is bad enough. I wouldn't even know.
You've never known.
I'd be like, this is how it's always been. I'm just gonna accept this and move on. Like, it's fine. Yeah.
Just roll with it.
Whatever. It's not my whole life. Just like,
yeah.
It is what it is. Okay, while we're on the topic of horror comedies, though, this one's on HBO Max. I am fucking obsessed with it. It has... It's called Barry. Have you seen it?
Like Berry, like you eat a berry, or berry, Barry?
Like the name, like Barry. OMFG. It is like a super. It's almost like it's got some satire to it. It's got some like action horror. So the premise basically is this guy gets out of the Marines and he doesn't know what to do with his life, so he becomes a hitman. But now he's kind of disenchanted with the whole hitman bit. He's just tired of killing people, right? And he needs like a new vision for his life. So he moves to LA, where he stumbles upon, just like he's walking around, like they're doing acting classes in LA, and he's like, I should take an acting class. And so he walks in and just starts taking acting classes, and his whole life basically blows up from there. And he's still like, his old boss is still trying to get him to do hitman work, and he is kind of still doing hitman work. At the same time, he's trying to like change his life, and like he's a terrible actor, but he's trying to like take these acting classes. Like, it's so funny. Oh my God, it's so good. And it's like super dry. Like the humor is based on like a lot of these characters are kind of like satires. Like the girl that he ends up like having as a love interest, she's like a horrible person, but like in the way that everyone who lives in LA is, but also you're kind of rooting for her. Like everyone in the show is basically a total piece of shit, but they're also very likable. It's so wild. And like this guy, Barry, he is straight up going out and killing people for money, and you're still like hoping he gets away with it. You're like, yeah, go buddy. Like, wait a minute.
He's trying to turn his life around, okay? It's a process.
He's trying to, like, unreal shit. It's pretty funny, but, like, I can't recommend it enough. It's perfectly it's my perfect strain of show. It's motherfucker. For those of you in the audience, Tasha has again been abducted. Her alternate dimension 9 will appear shortly. Anyways, Barry on HBO Max. Fucking love it. Oh my goodness. This is clip 6. 6. If you're keeping track, that's 6 times that Tasha has fucked off.
But I fucked back, so that's the important thing.
Yeah, you do. Everybody appreciates about you.
Take note, she's single.
Hey guys, she's single.
Back.
She fucks back.
Anyways,
it's gonna become a single dad. I like long walks on the beach, and I fuck that.
Dude, so my dad was gonna help me with budgeting one time, and
that was an interesting turn of events that I was not expecting.
They're related, okay? You know what my brain does. Hang in there, okay? So he had talked about helping me with budgeting stuff, and I woke up to a text message a couple weeks later, and he was like, hey, send me all your info. And I was like, I'm 33, I'm a Sagittarius, I like gummy bears, walks on the beach. And he was like, shut the fuck up, I meant your budget stuff. I was like, oh, well. I was like, you didn't specify. What else did you want me to say? Catch me by surprise, I'm going to say some dumb shit. Like,
my brain is just like, gummy worms. That sounds like,
I was really hoping
I have sour gummy worms.
After that, but no.
That motherfucker.
That bitch. Oh, okay. Before, like, the one thing that I can't leave out. There's 2 shows that I can't leave off this list that I love so much. First of all, American Horror Story. Oh my God.
That's on my list of things to watch. That's on my list. It's on my list. I have a list. I'm working. I got through Stranger Things, and now I'm working my way down the list.
You know what's funny is Stranger Things does come up on the list of like best horror shows. I'm like, that's not a horror. I don't think it is.
I feel like, it got a little gory this time around. Like,
yeah, but
I mean, I'm gonna rewatch season 4 tonight. It's like
too fresh for me to do.
I don't know if I would.
It's like a craving for me. Like, there's something about Stranger Things that scratches an itch that no other show scratches.
I love that show. So
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like when you want something to eat, and like only that thing will do.
Yeah.
Like that's how Stranger Things is. There's something like there's 10,000 billion other things I could watch, but I don't want to. I want to rewatch.
Kyle hasn't watched it yet, and I really want to sit down and watch it with him because we're huge D&D nerds. So I'm like, this is it. This is the show. Like, next to like The Witcher, this doesn't get better. So
I love The Witcher. Oh my god.
I still watch too for that.
I'm gonna sandwich this detail in here so that when we become famous, nobody can ever find it. But I also am like secretly a D&D nerd. Shh. Tell nobody. Okay, moving on from that. Two other shows I have to mention. So top 3 probably for me. So American Horror Story, Dexter, obviously.
Love Dexter.
My god. It's another one where you're rooting for a serial killer the whole time, and then the moment that you stop and assess, you're like, this is a bad guy. I'm rooting for Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Dexter came out during a great time of like shows. Like it was I don't know if it was right after or right around 6 Feet Under. It was around the same time, same actor. Like it was just great TV at the time.
Oh, here's another Easter egg. I don't remember what the app was, but Michael C. Hall, who plays Dexter, does an audiobook of Pet Sematary by Stephen King that is God tier. It's some other level of good. Like, it's probably the best audiobook I've ever listened to because it's him reading.
That would be awesome.
10 out of 10 recommend that. And then finally, one of my all-time favorites that few people have ever seen is Hannibal.
Yeah.
Which is just the perfect show. It's got the unreliable narrator, which I love when they do it right. It's got, it's a slasher kind of, it's got some like blood and gore and slasher elements, but also it's like the super psychological horror that is just so fucking good. Plus like the sexual tension between Will and Hannibal the whole time kept me hitting next. Like, are they gonna fuck or what?
Have you seen all the movies? Like Hannibal, Red Dragon?
No.
So good.
I have not.
So good.
Where do I watch those?
I don't know. I watched them on VHS. And DVD.
That'll have to be.
Oh my god. I'm writing it down.
I got a whole list here. Don't worry.
I've gotten really good at just Googling like where to stream whatever movie, and
it's usually what I do.
Yeah.
If I care enough about that thing to actually watch it, like. But then 99% of the time when I do that, they're like, subscribe now to Shimu or whatever fucking new streaming service.
Yeah. And she's yeeted again.
7. Okay.
Oh,
7 times. She's in the Upside Down, guys. I'm sorry. Not sorry. This is a real special dumpster fire of an episode.
I love it, though. It's so on point.
I do, too.
I love it so much. Alien! It's aliens.
Aliens?
Okay. Have you ever met somebody who's been abducted 7 times in less than 60 minutes? Meet Tasha. The girl from beyond.
Lucky number 13, right?
Okay, well you got 6 more times to go? Snap.
Sounds about right.
It's cool. Again, now that I'm a professional video editor, I don't mind patching. It definitely does not take me hours and hours to do that.
I'm doing this for you.
Yes, you are. Thank you for that. I love you both so much.
It's for entertainment purposes.
Well, that too. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which,
help me be what?
Another alien found footage, the Gracefield incident, which I believe is also on TV.
I haven't seen that.
That one sounds familiar to me, actually.
So it's really good because I feel like the biggest thing that comes up with a lot of found footage movies is like, why the fuck are they still filming right now? Because like if you're hauling ass for your life, like why would you still be holding a camera? So for this one, this guy loses his eye in a car accident, and he finds a way to rig like a video recorder in his fake eye. So there's no like, hey, why does he have a camera? Whatever. Oh. And it's them, it's like family or a bunch of close friends that are out in this huge cabin in the middle of nowhere. And like strange shit is happening in the woods. Like it's really good.
I have a question. Why are people so scared of the woods? Like, why is that such a horror element?
I'm more scared of the ocean, so
I'm more scared of
can't
I love
relate.
the ocean.
people.
So that to me, I believe, is the best horror like theme or genre, whatever you want to call it, because there is nothing. I've never seen a movie that where the villain was not a human that was scary or believable or convincing. Now, all the real creepy ones, I believe, are when the monsters are the humans, because that's frighteningly possible. It's not a demon or a ghost or
Yeah.
a Bigfoot or a chupacabra. It's an actual human, and anyone living next door to you could be that monster. And again, as a cop, I see people all the time who do horrific things, and then people are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe anyone could ever do that." I'm like, "What? You really don't believe a human could do that because like history is full of lessons for you?"
No joke.
Like every serial killer in the world was the nicest guy ever.
Mm-hmm. Just watch the news, man. They'll tell you every time.
I'm like, do you think that an alien person that has no friends, family, or social ties just drops out of the sky to commit these crimes? Like, no. This person has a whole social life. They have all that whole, 7 degrees of separation or whatever going on in their life, just like you do.
I think it's 6 degrees
and they
of
did this
Kevin
horrible
Bacon,
thing.
isn't it?
That sounds better. That sounds more accurate. I just made up what I just said because I wasn't sure. But I tried to say it confidently.
I just remember the bacon
6 degrees
part,
of
to be
Kevin
honest.
Bacon. Okay, thank you. It's 7 degrees of separation now. And they're only thinking of the 7 stages of grief and then Kevin Bacon.
Stop.
Bacon sounds good.
Squirrel.
Bacon.
Oh, God.
Bacon and gummy worms.
Oh, no.
You're so welcome.
And Stranger Things. Bacon, gummy worms, and Stranger Things.
That
My
is
friend Scott is like a huge horror movie fan, and he's just started recently doing like a true crime branch off of his podcast, and it cracks me up, like, because he, horror movies don't really scare him. The true crime stuff has scared the shit out of him, and I will sit there and absorb every ounce of true crime I can possibly get, regardless of what it is, but I have to be careful about like my horror and, what my dog's doing at the time, and if he's gonna scare the shit out of me.
To me, I believe true crime is actually more disturbing. Like, there's some, for the most, I watch a shit ton of true crime, like pretty much everything that I can like click. So lately, I've been running through HBO Max's true crime section.
I haven't checked theirs.
I'm trying to find the name. So they're excellent, actually. Yeah? Like, really good and bad. As in like it kind of hits you like a punch a little bit.
That's a good shit.
Kind of, but then yes it is. So I just watched the Beatrice 6. God, let me see if I can find. Of course, it's not gonna be on here. God. Okay. I believe it's called the Beatrice 6. I watched Who Killed Garrett Phillips, which was good, but the ones that I'm trying to talk about are not those. I believe it's called the Beatrice 6. Really, really good, really sad. But there was another one. Damn it. Why isn't it coming up? Okay. Now I'm panicking. I just watched There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane, which I think that one is tough because it's about a woman who drives the wrong way on a highway and ends up killing herself and 7 other people. And it's unknown why or what happened. And they showed very, very real, very uncensored photographs from the crime scene, or from the accident. And that was really difficult because most of the victims were kids. And Tasha is back for the 8th time.
That does sound tough.
So that's the Who Killed Aunt Diane on HBO Max. And they, if you really, really want to see pictures of dead bodies without any censorship at all, go ahead and watch that. So that was kind of like,
oh, damn.
I don't know. It makes me feel a certain type of way. Because like, I can just imagine, like, I've obviously worked a lot of fatality accidents myself. And it seems I could not imagine taking a photo of a body and showing it to people, let alone putting it on a documentary or something. It's a little unsettling in a way. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't really know what feels weird about it to me. It's just,
we've had a lot more incidents lately with like the looky-loos at crashes like that, taking pictures, where, you know, they have to go over and be like, okay, well, if you want to take pictures, like, you need to hand over your cell phone because that's evidence now.
Yeah.
And of course they get all pissy and everything. But I mean, it's like you walk up on a car crash and there's somebody that's like been ejected and they're laying in the road dead. Like, why is your first thought, let's walk
I
up
don't
and
know
take
why
a picture?
people are like that. And there's some part of me that like feels very almost like protective, I guess, over my scenes because that's somebody's family member.
Respect, man. That's
it's just
basic.
It's a respect thing.
It's
Yeah.
it's basic here.
But I've gotten into it more than a few times with reporters. Because, like, for example, I remember one time I was sitting on a motorcycle fatality wreck, and this reporter with a big ass camera just crosses under the fucking tape and like starts filming the body. And I went over and like I had it out with him. I'm like, his family doesn't even fucking know he's dead, and you're about to put that on the 6 o'clock news or whatever. Like, what is wrong with you as a human? Like, what's wrong with you? But like, I had it out with this reporter, and he's like, I have my job to do. This is what I get paid to. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. First of all, get on the other side of the tape. Like,
Yeah.
you just came through my crime scene, you piece of shit. Secondly, just the sheer
so disrespectful,
like lack of
regard.
It's not. I mean, to them, it's just it's like he didn't even think about it.
It's Tuesday
like,
to him.
It did not even touch his brain.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and on the other side of that, as dispatch, we hate getting those phone calls from the family when we haven't made official notification yet. And they're like, I heard that so-and-so's dead, and we can't tell them anything.
And I mean, talking to the family in general is like,
shut the fuck up.
I think it's probably maybe top 3 worst parts of being a cop is interacting with a family member of a victim of a crime or a natural death or an accident. The family, that is what will actually keep you up at night. Like, their reactions and their like, sometimes it's grief, sometimes it's rage, like sometimes it's denial, sometimes it's, you know, prove it to me. Like, but that shit sucks. Oh my god, it's horrible. Anywho, Mind Over Murder is the documentary that I was talking about, the Beatrice 6, which is a wild story. That's a true crime one. I also watched the Cheshire Murders, the Cheshire Cat. Really fucking good. Really, like, sad.
Is this all on HBO Max?
Yes, so I'm talking about specifically HBO Max right now.
You did see Abducted in Plain Sight on Netflix, right?
Oh my god.
Okay. The memes from that alone were just phenomenal.
I couldn't watch that all the way through. Like, as a mom, I couldn't watch it.
Oh yeah.
That was too much for me. There's just certain things that I can't, since having my daughter, like, I can't watch or I can't read about.
They hit a little differently.
It's too much for me. I can't. I will not sleep for days when it comes to, like, watching things about, like, abductions about children. Like, nope. No.
Okay, well then the one that I was going to talk about, you may not want to watch this. It's called Paradise Lost, the Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills. Not to be confused with the, I believe, 60s documentary, the 1996 documentary, Paradise Lost by HBO. This is a follow-up to that. Wow, yeah, this is horrible and really, really, like, it's good, but it does deal with kids being murdered. And again, they show photos that to me are sickening to be shown on TV. So
what?
That's what.
Don't
That's
you have to get, like, permission from the family for that?
I don't know. I truly don't know the answer to that. I'm just not used to, especially kids. Like, some of the photos that they showed of, like, oh my god, I was like, and I have a really strong stomach and nothing really bothers me, but it's something about that respect thing for victims that is being violated when I see this. It's not the image itself that's bothering me. It's the knowledge that this is somebody's kid, and now this is being shown to the world. Like, that's so horrible to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different than responding as a cop and seeing it when it's like a private thing, and you're not going to show people these photos.
Yeah. Well,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that one, both of those really stuck with. I've actually watched like 4 or 5 in the last couple of days because that's what I do all night. Is I edit video and I watch these. And I watched Undercurrent, the story of Kim Wall, which is a really interesting story and really sad. That was in Denmark, but there's so many. Now I will say before I lose it because I remember the name. I believe this one's on Hulu. Probably the best true crime show I've watched. It's the one that, because I mean, you watch like 80 true crime shows and they blend together. You don't remember most of them. They're good, but they don't blow your mind. This one's called Evil Lives Here.
I've heard of that. I haven't watched it.
Discovery. It's on Discovery. That's the best, probably my favorite
so good
true crime show ever because of the way that, and they're going to tell you stories you've heard before, but the perspective that you're hearing them from is the friends, neighbors, and family members who lived with this person before they were ever a killer. And the
people who were like actually involved.
Wild. So good. So wild. And it's kind of one of those things where I remember my...
We can resolve the issue using anonymity.
I don't know why I think
hear your...
Yeah, someone wants to... We're trying to look something up and like ads are popping up.
It's one of those that I'm going to recommend to people. Like Brett, for example, one of our earlier episodes, Brett was like, the Slender Man episode. He was like, it's got to make you wonder about where were the parents while the kids were up to all this. And I'm like, well, that's not always the problem.
Yeah.
And Evil Lives Here will drive that.
Their very first episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they talk to the parents of the dude, the arsonist.
And that's something that this drives home really well, where the parents tearfully and emotionally talk about everything they attempted to do to help their child, who's still against all nurture, options, went on to commit these horrible acts. And it makes you feel, I mean, again, the fact that I can remember the title and I remember the show out of everything that I consume is kind of the evidence that it's different and better, I think, personally, than most. Not that the others aren't good.
American Monster is a pretty good one too.
Have I seen that one?
Where they show like a lot of the home videos and stuff like that and talk to family.
I'm gonna write that, or Rachel, write that down.
I got you.
Secretary.
I got a huge secretary.
Secretary?
I got it.
And I recently watched American Psycho again, which has got to be
classic.
So I want to say, and put on some high heels.
I still need to see that one.
Have you seen? It's on Netflix. It's a documentary called The Keepers. I think that's it.
Oh,
yeah.
10 out of 10. 13 out of 10. Yeah. One, I want everyone to watch that.
Yeah. So, fun fact: I actually lived there. Like when I lived in Maryland, that area. That's where we lived. Was right there. So, like Tasha, when you came to surprise me for my birthday, we won't get into it. We won't get into it. But when you came out for my birthday, that area, that is where...
Speaking of...
that is where that happened. Yeah, so, like, watching that, it was, like, extra weird for me to be like, oh my god, like, I used to pass that every day. That's so creepy. Yeah.
That's one of the few that I've actually watched twice because it was so good.
I've watched it a few times. Yeah, it's really good.
It's
10 out of 10.
I don't know because like, man, swore I wasn't going to get into a rant on religion, but here we go.
It's a perfect example. It's a perfect example.
Oh, I want everyone who, like, why do I hate religion so much? Because I don't just dislike religion. I actively like despise it. I despise the whole fucking concept of religion. It's poisonous and it enables predators to continue doing what they do. And it uses shame as a tool against people. It tells you that you are less than because you're a woman. And it victimizes the very young and easily manipulated. It victimizes children. And I fucking hate that. And while being religious doesn't make you a bad person, the whole structure of religion is designed in such a way that somebody with bad intentions who is seeking a position of power can say the right words and easily put themselves into a position of power over people who might be good people, who might be innocent, trusting, naive, completely clueless. And then that gives them a platform from which to manipulate people and perpetrate crimes on these people. So it's the perfect fucking boiling point for psychopaths. That's why psychopaths are so often found in positions, they seek out positions of power.
Yeah.
Lawyers, doctors, cops. Although you don't really have that much power as a cop, so maybe military. I don't fucking people. We don't have as much power as you think we do. Trust me.
Truth though.
Pastors, community, quote unquote, community leaders. Like every time I see somebody who is trying to put themselves in a position like that and attempting really hard to make everyone like them, again, this is my cop brain, immediately is suspicious of this person because I know I'm not super educated or whatever, but what I do know is people. I know really well how people work and how they think.
Yeah.
To the extent, and again, it's skewed to the negative in general. Like I know, I pick up on bad intentions more than normal people do, or I can see ulterior motives more than people do, and I can tell when people are lying. So for me, my intuition just fucking flashes red flags at me when I see somebody who's attempting to insert themselves into younger people, especially into young people's lives. Like they're up to some shady shit.
The Catholic Church is they're so good at that. It's awful. Like I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. So a few years ago, Kyle's, my husband's grandmother, passed away, and we had a full Catholic mass, and the church was beautiful, and she had been there for years. And in the middle of this funeral mass, the priest, or whatever he is, comes out, and it's like he has this memo from the Archbishop that says, make a point to, mention that we know that, there's priests diddling kids, and just know that we're dealing with it. And so he makes this, announcement, we know that some things have been going on, and we know that even within the church, in the middle of the funeral mass, he makes, this announcement of, we know that there's, things going on, and we know it's hard to trust people, and just know we're here for you. So I didn't really know her that well. Yeah, and then he goes, because he didn't really know his, my husband's grandmother very well either, so it was, extra awkward, or he's just so anyway, and we're did we really just make a plug in the middle of that? It's what was that? All of us were
oh, God.
Did that really just happen? Oh, my God.
What the actual fuck?
So weird.
2 other ones on Netflix that are, along that same lines. The newest one about Warren Jeffs. Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey.
I've been watching that.
Is really good.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I think I watched it the day it came out.
The one on... Do what?
I think I watched that one the day it came out.
Yeah.
That was good. And then there's one on Jimmy Savile.
Oh, I did. Savile? Oh, that one made me mad.
I watched that one twice.
What's that one called?
It's his name.
Jimmy Savile?
I think it's Saville. I
think it is.
Maybe.
Dude, that one pissed me off so bad.
I haven't watched that one yet. It's on my list.
Yeah, dude. Just looking at this dude, you can tell something is.
That's what I mean. Is you can. I don't know. I think people.
Yeah.
The average person who isn't me wants to be able to trust people, and you want to think that by trusting people, you're being a good person. You're giving people the benefit of the doubt. What you're really doing is casting yourself in the role of potential victim to these people who are going to attempt to manipulate you. So when you say, I'm a good person, or I try to be a good person, you're making yourself a victim, basically. So you can be a good person without trusting that everyone has good intentions. Just those two aren't mutually exclusive. Trust but verify, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to mindlessly trust. That's not a quality of a good person. That's a quality of a victim.
Yeah.
Trusting. And I'm not saying there's no one you should trust. Trust people that you know and care about and love you. But choosing to trust everyone you meet until they prove you wrong, you're setting yourself up. Like, I don't understand people who are like that. And a lot of people...
I feel like as a general rule, it's safe to trust people who hate other people.
That's why we get along so well.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
just saying.
It's so funny because, like, there was this one time in roll call when there had been some issues with people working at my department as far as, like, mental health and, like, them having crises that ended up with them getting arrested. And so my captain gave this really fucking emotional speech about, like, I just really love and care about all you guys. And then, of course, some of the guys, the patrol guys, jumped in. They're like, yeah, love you guys. And I'm like, and then my captain looks directly at me like he wants me to say something nice. And I'm like, okay, buddy. So I'm like, I just want you guys to know that I hate each and every single one of you with every fiber of my being, but I would also die for you.
And that's more important.
Like, why are you like this? And I'm like, fuck you. Like, what did you expect me to say? You're like, everyone's like, yeah, that checks out. I'm like, I would die for you, but I can't fucking stand you. God. It's like, you brought that on yourself. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we should probably start wrapping it up. I didn't realize how long we've been going. But any last recommendations from anyone?
Oh, God.
Either horror or true crime, since we went that way. Because you guys have actually seen true crime.
We really, like, took a turn there.
I know. We kind of, like, we did. I'll have to... I wonder if I still have...
The last one I'm going to throw out as a recommendation from Netflix is 2-sentence horror stories. Excellent. So fucking good.
Is it?
Oh, man. They take, like... It was, like, I believe from a Reddit, maybe. 2-sentence horror story Reddit or something like... It was an internet thing where they had... I know. Motherfucker. 2 sentences. And so at the beginning of the episode, they show the 2 sentences. And they're creepy sentences, but then they base the episode on that. And it's like a short, maybe 20-minute episode, but it's creepy as fuck.
Really I love that. I love that.
Really well done. Oh my God, Rachel's back. That makes 9, by the way. For anyone keeping track at home, this will be a trivia question later, pop quiz. How many times did Rachel fuck off to outer space?
Rachel was here the whole time. Tasha fucked off.
I'm sorry. How many times did KC?
Yeah, Rachel, what the fuck?
I was present the whole time, motherfucker.
Bullshit,
well, it's a good
Rachel.
thing you guys don't look anything alike at all, so I can tell you apart easily.
We're trying to be professionals here.
I parted my hair different this time. I was like, maybe that'll be a little different.
Yeah, me too.
That's a lie. I've had it up all day. I put it down so it wouldn't be, like, weird, you know?
I will. You look beautiful. Tasha, any final recommendations?
There's another one that's found footage called Ghoul. Ghoul.
Secretary.
Can't remember.
I'm writing it down. Jeez Louise.
And another one that was called Dark Mountain that I listed as good, but I don't remember what it was about. But apparently it was good.
I bet it's about a dark mountain.
It might be. Or it could be the beach. Who knows?
Oh, what a twist. That's the plot twist. It's not actually about a mountain.
Basically, my biggest recommendation is to get Shudder because it is legit really cool. Like, they've got all the classics. Huh?
How much is it?
I think is it like $5 a month? I think.
Oh, that's not bad.
I mean, you could just send us your login too. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. You don't.
I don't think we can admit that while the birds are listeing.
It's not Netflix who's trying to, like, not let everybody hand out passwords. And I'm like, you're about a decade and a half too late for that.
Yeah, no shit. They're acting like it's a new problem.
We're all firmly logged in on our separate interstate devices, so
also,
shut up.
I have a code, if I can find it, that gets you a free month trial.
Ooh, how many people can use that?
It's from one of the podcasts that I listen to, so.
Oh, okay. Well, we can post that on the socials if you can find that. And we're also going to post lists of our top recommended stuff. Yeah,
dude, this
stuff,
is a long
pizza, grilled cheese.
Oh, gummy
Steak.
worms, bacon, and Stranger Things.
Yes.
Write it down. God, I'm so hungry now.
I know.
Thank you.
I'm hungry, and it's like late, and I'm supposed to be going to bed, and I'm like, but
oh my God, yeah, let's get you to bed.
I want food.
Bye, baby. I've had 3 cookies to eat all day, and full stop. That's all I've had to eat today because I'm an adult and I can take care of myself.
Do what I want.
All right, well, I want to thank you guys for coming on again. I want to thank Tasha's internet for coming in clutch. No sarcasm intended at all. Rachel, I love your little background going on. I'm glad that you got your headset working. Hopefully the audio is better. And what else? Take care of your mental health. Watch Murder and Ghosts and stuff because that's self-care. Post slutty pictures of yourself online, also self-care. Eat gummy worms, self-care. If you say hashtag self-care, you're summoning the self-care demon to negate the effects of whatever you're doing that might be bad for you, like eating junk food. Hashtag self-care, boom, treat yourself. Love you guys. We will be coming up soon with Ryan on an episode of Bigfoot. What else? We got other shit coming on. I'm tired and
at some point now.
Out. Huh?
I said Dyatlov Pass at some point now.
Yes.
Oh my God.
If I remember that.
That one.
Yes.
Okay. We got that one coming up. Bada bing, bada boom. Bye.